Hello, and welcome to Ben's Dinner every week forever.
Sponsored by DoorDash.
This week we got fucking Frosted Flakes.
Man, these endorsement deals are getting weird.
Friend of the show, Tony the Tiger.
Oh God, don't put that evil anywhere near me.
Tony the
Okay.
Tiger.
Fucking Tony the Tiger.
Is Tony the Tiger canon? Did he show up in some random video game that gave him sentience in the Star Wars universe?
Oh God.
Tony the Tiger is Hugans.
Stop.
You made the intro. Hello and welcome to Star Wars Every Week Forever, the podcast in which we watch one Star Wars movie every week forever. This week, The Empire Strikes Back. Chris, how was your watch?
Time is a flat circle, and I am a broken man.
Ben, how was your watch?
Josh, how was your watch?
It was fine. It's Empire Strikes Back, but also I had a hell of a time paying attention to it because time is a flat circle and I am a broken person.
I too had a hell of a time paying attention to this movie because the first half I was very attentive, and then I did my typical like half day intermission, or yeah, full day intermission, and then came back and Josh and Chris and friend of the show Zins were all in a Discord call when I sat down to watch the second half of the movie. So I hopped in the Discord call and like tuned them out for an hour while I finished the movie.
Oh.
And I read a children's book.
Elaborate.
These books are definitely meant for a younger audience. And the first one, it was kind of like not bad. This one, oh God. Oh God.
So it's not like Dave Filoni's books for children.
No, it's like Force of Destiny or like fucking droids.
Oh God.
No, you know what
Oh,
it felt
God.
like? It felt like those animated Lego shorts, those animated Lego Star Wars shorts that they released somewhere.
Yeah.
They're on Disney Plus. I don't know where they originated.
Who's to say? Someday they just appeared in all of our lives.
This entire book is so like each of these books so far has had a gimmick for the OT. The first one was like it's three separate parts: the princess, the scoundrel, and the farm boy. This one is subtitled subtitled Star Wars, subtitled The Empire Strikes Back, subtitle So You Want to Be a Jedi.
Oh my God.
So the whole book is like retelling the story of Empire Strikes Back as if it's somebody telling the story to like an apprentice.
What the fuck?
And even more, what the fuck? They're telling it to you in the second person as if you were Luke Skywalker and they're telling you what you did.
What?
So we all get to get yelled at by Minch, is what you're saying.
Yeah, so like I'll be sitting there and it'd be like, and then you instruct R2 on where to go to get out of the swamp, and you start setting up your camp and blah blah, and I'm just like, what?
So it's written in the second person?
It's written in the second person as if it's as if you were Luke Skywalker and someone was telling you the story of Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, it's second person.
Yeah. But
It's
like
such a weird choice.
it's even weirder because you still get all the shit of like Han and Leia on Bespin before Luke shows up, and all that's in the third person. Because Luke wasn't there.
There's no consistency. It's like they chose that formatting, and we're so fucking comfortable with it until someone was like, "Hey, what about?"
Don't
Like,
we have to write
Han
the
and
rest of the
Leia.
movie?
Oh well, I mean,
Shit.
we'll just fill that in there. People don't care about that. They care about just what Luke Skywalker was doing exclusively.
Yeah, this book was fascinating.
So I'm guessing we don't have Vader killing guys in this book.
No, he choked some motherfuckers out. In fact,
So
when
it
he
does
chokes
take
out,
the Dave Filoni route.
It does, but they also quote unquote skip all the mushy bits,
That somehow sounds dirtier.
which made me cringe so hard. But when Han's being like a super misogynist in the hallway, and they're like kind of flirty, kind of fighty, the narrator's just like, we're gonna skip all that stuff because that's just mushy stuff, and we don't care about that. And I'm like, okay, I could be 5, whatever.
The way you worded that. Oh, the sound of me looking for pen and paper.
It's almost worse because I know what the pen and paper is for. It's gonna be another Ben makes fun of himself title, isn't it?
Listen, my friend, sometimes you say things in specific ways and it comes off amazing.
You do have a real way with words.
You think of words better.
I'd hope I do. I'm on a podcast.
I had this weird watch because I could recognize a lot of real brilliance in the movie that I don't always appreciate as much because I watched this, I've watched this 4 times in half a year. But also, I found myself super struggling to keep my eyes on the television rather than do literally anything else. Like, I was so disinterested in something, I was writing about being good. Although I will say, the scene where Luke's going to Bespin, that is the most prequel Yoda that Yoda gets in these original trilogy movies. He has all of the arrogance and pompous grandeur that he has in the prequels in that scene. Although I will say, on the flip side of it, the use of shadow and light in that scene is really, really brilliant.
It's good when the X-Wing's leaving and Yoda's just like bathed in red and Ben disappears.
That's kind of... I'm halfway convinced that it is the aid of the other directors and producers around George whenever we get really brilliant cinematography there. Because it doesn't happen a lot in George's movies, but it happens a lot in the movies that George either has nothing to do with or is a little more hands-off in. The only time I think George has done it entirely on his own was, hey, we're going to cut this wire and we're going to fight Dooku and Anakin, and the reason we did that is because we can't have Sir Christopher Lee do much.
George Lucas.
It's nice when George comes up. We haven't talked about old Georgie boy in a while.
We haven't talked about old Georgie boy in a while.
I love the people who say that the sequels would have been better if George was heading them. Quick shout out to you guys.
Your optimism is adorable.
Yeah, that's just endlessly amusing.
The best part about that is, like, 2 similar but separate versions of George Lucas's vision for a sequel trilogy have come out since, and they are almost nothing alike when you actually look at them. So who the fuck knows what kind of a shit show mashup of random EU content those movies would have been.
Which is what it seems to be based on everything. I really think the best idea that George had, which is Luke and the way he was done, was taken from his original stuff and put into the sequel trilogy, and then everything else was just kind of like, okay, this is just a flim flam of amalgamized ideas you have here, George.
It's a real flim flam, all right.
And it also is supposed to star another 10-year-old hero.
Oh, God. Hasn't George had enough of ruining 10-year-olds' lives?
Yeah, I was very interested to see. Oh, no!
Of all of the things, of all of the times to allegedly.
No, Ben and the Star Wars Every Week Forever cast in no way accuse George Lucas of any inappropriate relations with children.
It was just Ben saying a thing without thinking.
Yeah, that didn't hit me until everyone laughed, and I was like, oh wait, we got to put a big allegedly on this one, don't we?
No, not even an allegedly. A no. A no.
Oh my god.
Oh, God.
Whew.
I want to talk about something we haven't talked about yet on this podcast.
Oh
no.
boy.
Can we talk about how when Luke falls from in Cloud City, can we talk about how fucking silly that is? Can we please
so
talk about how
silly.
fucking silly that is?
That's one of the things I fault this movie for, because it just looks ridiculous.
For those of you that haven't paid close attention because you haven't decided to watch it every 9 weeks for the rest of your fucking life, when Luke falls, he falls vertically. And then some kind of unknown fucking force whisks him back first, horizontally on an angle in the most Charlie and the Chocolate Factory way.
Yeah.
Into a fucking windpipe.
Okay, well, lucky for you, Josh, I have answers.
Oh no. These answers aren't going to satisfy me. I want you to know that.
No, because they're answers from a children's book. It was actually designed to take any garbage that would fall into the reactor shaft out. So essentially, the system recognized Luke as fallen garbage and shot him out of Bespin.
Oh, God.
That also raises the question, how much fucking garbage falls into that reactor shaft?
I mean, it's human beings. I would not be surprised at the amount. I'm more interested at what the fuck happens farther down on the planet. Like,
well, most of it probably just gets burned up in the atmosphere.
Where people are just catching lightsabers and shit, like.
Apparently, still don't have an explanation for that.
We might at this point. I don't know. I'm a little behind on tracking Luke's lightsaber.
Oh, lightsaber bringing trash cloud. We
know that there's a sentient geode, but we don't know how someone got that lightsaber.
Oh yes. So, dear audience, I have stumbled upon Fresh Canon, and I love it. I have
Fresh
two new favorite
Canon.
characters. Fresh Canon.
Fresh Canon. We're selling Fresh Canon.
Fresh Canon, our newest segment.
I mean, yes, now it is.
Where Ben fills us in on that. Fresh Canon.
Fresh Canon! Fresh Canon!
So, I am reading Star Wars The High Republic Into the Dark currently. In that book, there is a crew of 3 individuals 2 humans and 1 Bintian. One of the humans is a hippie with a southern drawl. The other one just seems like a normal, sensible person. And Bintians, for those of you who didn't know, are rock-like beings who are in the shape of rocks that are about human height and possess names that, and I quote, are unpronounceable by people with mouths.
So when we implied that the Thing was a senator in Star Wars a couple weeks ago or last week, I can't keep track anymore. We were being serious.
Oh, God.
This individual's name is Geode, and he is my favorite. and yes, somehow we know that Geode is a male.
What the fuck does this rock look like?
I was about to read verbatim the description of Geode.
Does he speak with a really hokey Australian accent?
Most of the times when Geode's involved in a conversation, the only note that we're given is Geode's silence told them all what he thought, or like something like that.
No, it didn't. They've never had a conversation with this rock one time.
So, okay, my
They
other
don't
favorite
know its true
character...
intentions.
This is the way that they tie the Yuzhan Vong into the new canon.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Sentient rocks brought the Yuzong Vong to the Star Wars galaxy. My another favorite character I have from this, and this ties into Geode, is Reith Silas. He's the person we mostly see through the eyes of. He's basically the main character. Very much not an adventurous type, but he's very nerdy, book smarts, and he loves explaining things to people. Basically, me in Star Wars. So he's sitting in the mess of the vessel. The ship they're on is called the Vessel. And he just looks over, and all of a sudden there's Geode. Just there. On his own. So Geode somehow moves around, but I have not yet seen him move.
I like to think of it. I really want it to be like. This is gonna be a really deep reference. If you ever played the old, I think it was the Sherlock Holmes, Jack the Ripper video game.
Oh my God, I know what you're about to talk about. Yes. Watson.
Watson doesn't move if you look at Watson. So if you walk backwards down a whole street, you'll see Watson follow you with his head and like eyes. But if you keep eye contact with him and just move backwards, he'll stay there. If you turn and then turn back, Watson will be right in front of you. It's the fucking best.
Silent Hill starring Sherlock Holmes. Singular, apparently.
So for those of you who are trying to imagine, Geode is, and I quote, about as tall and slightly wider than Reith himself, dark gray with rounded edges and a flinty, flaky surface. Impressive as a rock went, but still, it was just a rock, wasn't it?
Jesus fucking Christ.
This lad is a navigator.
Poetry. Absolute poetry.
Oh, this has big the Old Republic original comics vibes. Where it was just like, all right, this is our next alien. He's just a fucking flying brain.
Jesus God.
So yeah, that's the rabbit hole I fell down today.
Oh, the canon is no longer fresh.
Oh, it's fresh. I still got 7.5 hours audio to go through on this motherfucker.
This is going to be a reoccurring bit now. Whenever Ben stumbles upon something new.
I have another new thing.
Fresh cannon!
Fresh cannon!
Thus far, this book has mentioned... Okay, hold on. Let me... This book, I need to find the author's name. Claudia Gray.
Okay. That sounds like a Grey's Anatomy character.
I am worried for you. I don't know what trees did to you in your lifespan, but there are 3 mentions thus far of dark side trees,
What the fuck?
and we
Really
haven't
is.
met any of them. The
These-
Jedi are on a station, and they're trying to figure out where this like dark presence is coming from. And 3 separate times they mention like, well, plants can be steeped in the dark side. I've seen trees that have a dark essence, and I'm just like, what happened to you?
Oh man.
You know what they say, fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to amber.
Amber.
Sorry, it's not my best work.
God.
Only you can prevent dark side trees.
There's a version of Smokey the Bear on different planets that instead of warning against setting forest fires, encourages setting forest fires on dark side trees. Only you can defeat dark side trees.
I think about fucking Elder Scrolls with the, you know what I'm talking about, Josh. The
Yeah.
histories.
The histories, yeah, or just truants, just D&D truants is, I guess that's a thing in Star Wars.
God.
This canon is no longer fresh.
We have sentient trees. We have sentient rocks. We had sentient planets in the old canon, right?
Yes, we did. Sonoma Sakat.
This canon is no longer fresh.
We are just pitches and weird fucking slogans at this point.
We have boiled down to our basic essence as a podcast.
Like you could fucking we're just bumper stickers at this point. It's just
I laughed way louder than I wanted to. Oh my god. Fucking this book. They make some comparisons, like some analogies.
oh no.
They make an analogy of an Imperial Star Destroyer being a tiger and rebel ships being mice when they're fleeing Hoth.
That doesn't sound very Star Warsy.
It gets very Star Warsy. Because then it describes the ion cannon hitting the bridge. And the book says, and I quote, the mice, it turned out, had a gun.
Jesus Christ.
One day this week, I'm gonna have to Photoshop a gun on a mouse.
On
I
the
blame
mouse
you.
in the cantina from the holiday special.
I can't do that one. I'm just a shit poster now. That's my job. My job is to shit post, to create shit post images.
Because we love you, and because you love us.
Yeah.
I say with the least convincing smile on my face. When I record, I actually have my webcam showing me feed of what I look like.
Why?
I don't know. It makes it feel legit.
We do
That is
not.
a
We do not record with video. If we did,
don't.
I'd have to like make myself presentable beforehand.
that is a like I stared into the void and the void stared back. Like, that is just
Why do you do that?
Dude, I don't know. It's just like I've done it
man.
since I found out that if you go into the Skype video settings, it'll show you your video output, and I just
Yeah,
do it because that's just a part of my setup now.
but why?
Because
I like to think that these are being recorded without your knowledge somewhere.
No, unfortunately, it's all being recorded.
not the video.
People listen to
just-
this podcast.
Ben just finds hours of footage of himself on his computer. He finds the folder like a year from now, and there's just fucking hours, days, weeks, months. Oh, God. That's the only thing the aliens find next to the Elon Musk AT-AT and our hard drive floating out in space. Just a video file of Ben.
We've done like 30 plus hours of content. There's just a day and like 6 hours worth of fucking video out there of you just reacting to yourself.
Anyway,
Fucking.
on today's episode of Who's a Bigot?
The name changed.
Oh yeah, because it's not racism, it's sexism.
I see. So the bit has expanded.
Indeed.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Are you saying that there's sexism in Empire Strikes Back? I, for one, am shocked.
Yeah, and it's coming from the least likely suspect. During the escape from Hoth, Han.
Oh, I'm so shocked.
Han is discussing with so they're escaping, and he has to run and go try and fix the hyperdrive right before they find out they're in an asteroid field. He feels the ship jerk the first time it hits an asteroid, and he quote unquote mentions something about women pilots.
This came out in 2015, gang. This came out in 2015, gang.
Oh, God. And this is the one aimed at children.
At children. This
that was a really aggressive way to phrase that in retrospect.
At children.
For whatever reason, the "at" is doing a lot of negative press there.
Because it should be. You're ingraining sexism into children. I mean, society already does that, but you are now responsible for that.
You're now complicit.
You're now complicit. You have now actively worked with it.
Allegedly.
No! Fuck that!
No!
No, allegedly. Not a single
I
allegedly.
Reject your allegedly. You can't counterspell here, Josh.
You want to talk about counterspells.
Cutting words in this podcast. You're the editor. I guess you could cut some words, actually.
Exactly.
Josh is the only one who has counterspell. And today, Who's a Racist? Yoda tells this whole story.
Oh, God.
About, like, a Jedi Master who finds out another Jedi Master's apprentice died, so he sends an envoy to, like, send his regrets. And when the envoy gets to the second Jedi Master, that Jedi Master's laughing and, like, loving life right over top the dead corpse of his Padawan.
Wow.
And the envoy's like, dude, everything okay here? And the Jedi Master's like, yeah, I'm just celebrating that they've moved on to the rest of the Force or what the fuck ever. And it reeks of, like, wannabe, like, Asian mysticism. Like, the one Jedi Master's name is, like, Kwang Kuo or something like that.
God.
Jesus and it's like, I was like, oh, those are, and the other one had a name like that, but I don't remember if I wrote it down.
It's just a bunch of asterisks because it's fucking funny. It's like, we called him.
The only name I had written down is Master Kwang Fu. And I was like,
no,
Christ almighty.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
I mean, there's precedent for
made me
this
feel
Qui-Gon Jinn, but still.
Well, the
Yeah.
precedent for this
That's
is
just an Irish dude.
George Lucas.
My father
Like-
was a Qui-Gon.
Why? Like, it wasn't quite Scottish, but it did.
I
have
can't do
it
Irish.
had
I can't do
really
Scottish
strong
either.
Trek energy.
I can't do any of those accents. I don't know why I tried. I couldn't stop myself fast enough.
Oh my god.
How did everyone take the dinner scene today?
Oh,
This
God.
week.
It is. It's so good. It's high art.
I had a vision of it this week. I had like it was the
Came
first
to
time
me-
I sat down and I truly could see the scene. I pictured as I was sitting there, Han and Leia are kind of forced in, and Vader's sitting there, and Lando sits down. Which, by the way, small side note before I get into this, Lando and Vader's interactions are very good, but also more hilarious every single time I watch them. It's like, it's got that Anakin shitty sense of humor to it, where he's just like, yeah, sure, the Wookiee and Leia can stay with you, absolutely. No. I've altered
Oh.
it's like the
Oh,
robot
by
chicken
the way, put them on my ship.
bit. It's the robot chicken bit where it's like, he's like, now here's a tutu. I've altered the deal, pray do not alter it this part. But anyway, I had this vision. They all kind of sit down around the table, and Vader sits forward, and these nice meals are presented to them while cuffs are put on them. And Vader's like, now look, I do not agree with you, rebel scum. I went into Palpatine for a second there. But I am attempting to remend my bridges with my son. And that means compromise. So, for now, you all live. But I would request, if you want to continue living, you help me in dealing with the more extreme of the rebels. Can you keep my son away from Porkins? He's done some terrible things.
Fuck you. Porkins is dead, you fuck. Oh, I need it. Oh.
Are you, Ben, are you saying that we have not played out this dinner scene as if information that was already not known in that scene had been?
I'm saying you leave my Lord and Savior alone.
Oh my god.
I did mention on the podcast Discord that, you know, we've all agreed that we now live in that dinner scene and we can never escape it, because the amount of scenarios of just pure terrific humor never stop. There's always a new scenario in there that's hilarious if you're willing to not accept all the canon around it.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, if you're willing to just be out of your fucking mind.
If you're willing to watch one Star Wars movie every week forever.
I feel like it's less of you willing to be outside of your fucking mind, because the movie does a lot of the legwork once you're really looking at it.
Yeah, but normal people wouldn't spend 3 rotations obsessed and just standing on the edges of this room watching 70,000 different scenarios play out. Like, normal people would do that.
Okay. But, listen. So, the door's open. Darth Vader respectfully stands to greet his guests.
Respectfully.
He gets shot at. And luckily he's on his guard.
Hold on, I'm gonna stop stop you here for a second. Are you trying to paint Vader in a good light here?
All he's doing is providing a dinner for his guests. Is all I'm arguing here.
Yeah, it's a regular captive audience.
Then once
Oh,
he
God.
disposes of the weaponry that was used against him,
Watch, it flies to me. You see, firearms are of no consequence to me.
he politely sits back down and welcomes everyone to the banquet he prepared. And yes, in my headcanon, Darth Vader cooked that meal.
I don't think we talk about enough, and I know we've brought it up multiple times, but I don't think we talk about enough how he can't eat the meal.
I think we talked about it plenty. I just like to think that Darth Vader travels with a bullet blender.
It's like
I like to picture Darth Vader cooking with like a kiss the cook apron on and like
Oh, God.
I was very excited for that scene in this book, and it does the same thing as the movie where it just like cuts to black and then Han Solo's getting tortured.
I'm really disappointed.
I was so sad.
You're gonna have to run that by me again, Chief, because my brain just went to choke the cook, and I was immediately disappointed in myself.
I hold on, I was prepared for many things, but not hearing Josh talk about choking. It just like cuts to black once Han Solo's done firing at people who have not yet aggressed against him.
You mean in the dinner scene?
Yeah.
I mean, it's Darth fucking Vader. Who cares if he killed him?
All I'm saying is Darth Vader didn't do a thing to Han until he was shot at.
Yeah, but he also blew up the girl that was with him's planet. Like, perspective, Ben.
Where's your proof? Oh God, I'm gonna become the Star Wars conspiracy theorist. Oh no, Alderaan was an inside job.
No, I do not accept this. I do not accept this.
Ben becomes a fucking Star Wars truther.
Listen. I'm just saying, I agreed with some of the Empire's policies.
The Empire did nothing wrong.
Specifically the racism, but not the pod racing ban.
I gotta get on my Alex Jones voice.
So Vader, he spoke a little harshly, but I like to go off of his actions on his words.
The top 1% run child pod racing rings.
Star Wars Every Week Forever does not think in any way that the space fascists were in any way, shape, or form, like, even acceptable. I have to say that. I'm sorry, I have to say that.
They're psychic Jedi vampires.
The only thing that 2/3 of the Star Wars Every Week Forever crew agree with is the pod racing ban.
Man, I'd love to just do some like Empire propaganda material. Like,
Why?
The weirdest thing. So on this note, I
want to know how you turn that around.
My name is
weirdest...
J. Jonah Spacison, and all I'm saying is that
one of the weirdest things I ever experienced was there's an episode of Star Wars Rebels that takes place on Empire Day, which is the day the Empire was established.
Mm-hmm.
They play the Imperial March in a major key,
Yeah.
And it made me genuinely uncomfortable. I was just like, excuse me?
That's kind of how I feel when they play the Kylo Ren theme in a major key. It's just like, da-da-da. Like, no. 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 This is not acceptable.
This is not okay. I am not happy about any of this.
We could use literally any of those as subtitles for this whole ass podcast. Not okay.
I have a note here. So when Luke's on Dagobah, he's training with Yoda.
Could you? Ben.
What are we doing?
We need to have a quick talk about sounds made on the podcast that I have to find a way to make listenable to people with headphones.
No, you leave that one in to, send. If you're unhappy with what we just did to your ears, leave a comment.
I'm unhappy with what I was thinking my mouth just does that. So, on Dagobah, there's the point where Luke's like training to levitate shit. Or no, it's when he's trying to get the X-wing out of the swamp, and he's like, I can't fucking do that, and Yoda's like, fuck you, you can't, and Luke's like struggling to raise the X-wing. And this person who read this book knew what they were doing.
You did?
They knew full well what they were doing when they did this.
You knew what you were doing?
They knew full well what they were doing when they did this to my audio receptors.
Oh, God.
So they're giving you Luke's internal monologue. Well, your internal monologue, because you are Luke. Fuck. And all you hear is you're thinking, don't disappoint Yoda. And I'm just like, oh God, don't do this. He's like, don't. I'm like, stop. And he repeats 3 times in a strained voice, don't disappoint Yoda.
Right. Horny YouTubers, horny shitposting YouTubers. I need you to do with the raw audio of this audiobook the same thing you did with the What Have I Done Anakin scene in regards to Palpatine and the porn music. I need this done immediately, and I will not pay you.
Hey, hold on,
but
what?
I need it done.
Oh God. I feel like Anakin. Oh God, what have I done?
I can't describe to you how much I wish I could name this episode You Are Luke. Fuck! Exclamation point.
I don't know how actually convinced I am this was supposed to be a children's book.
Does it like get weird at the end?
It gets, well, I mean, thus far with my explanation, it's slowly dawning on me it's disguised as a children's book.
So, it is like Dave Filoni's book for children.
So, okay, what's another really weird thing about this book is, so, like, it's supposed to be a person's journey into becoming a Jedi. And, so at the end of each chapter, there's, like, exercises you could do.
Oh, God.
What?
Yeah. So, like...
And Darth Vader cut off your hand. Now I need you to do some burpees right here. I need about 10 burpees. If you'd please get up off your ass and do some burpees.
I mean, I could use that, but so like when it's talking about how Jedi can feel things around them. So what you want to do is you want to go to your room and you want to start putting shit on the floor.
Everybody do the dinosaur?
And with your eyes closed, you have to navigate around the things on the floor.
Mom, I broke a lamp because the Empire Strikes Back novel told me to.
Well, at one
Mom,
point,
I have to be a Jedi.
at one point it tells you to get a volunteer and have them gently throw soft objects at you.
Mom, I need you to
You're
help me with
supposed
Jedi
to bat them
training.
away with your eyes closed.
Mom.
You're
And-
38.
And
Mom, I'm gonna be a Jedi.
as a now 24-year-old man, 100% got some fool to help me with these. And let me
course,
tell
you
you,
had to do
it's
it for
a
the social-
trip.
Wait, hold on. I'll bleep this out. Who did you get to help you?
My sister.
So, the 3 interactions that your sister has had with this podcast are listening to the first episode, being forced to listen to the holiday special on the way home from Christmas.
The holiday special and whatever the episode was before that we listened to on our way to our mom's house for Christmas.
Those 2 things, and you going up to your sister and saying, "Can you throw a soft ball at me so I can be a Jedi?"
I didn't use
Please tell me you
those-
phrased it exactly like that.
I didn't use those words exactly.
I'm fascinated. What
So,
words did you use?
The book is actually really
No. What words did you use when you asked your sister to help you be a Jedi?
I went, so Sarah, I'm in trouble. I promised the Star Lads, which, yes, she calls us the Star Lads.
That's pretty great.
Our fans
Our fans
can now refer to us
is
as
like,
the Star Lads.
The Star Lads podcast.
I'll be the Star Lad.
If Big Papa Disney comes knocking for the Star Wars in the title, and we gotta change it at some point. It is the Star Lads podcast.
Star Lads every week forever.
The podcast in which we watch one Star Wars movie every week forever and call us the non-gender confirming lads.
The Star Peoples.
The Star People.
It's just like the guy in fucking Light of the Jedi. Peoples.
This
Fucking
is
Lieutenant Peoples.
fucking. This is a
So I
mess.
go, yeah, the
You're
Star
right.
Lads.
So I go.
I told the Star Lads that I would read this
So I
book,
says to her.
and the book tells me to do these things that I need help with. That I absolutely need an outside source.
Did you get a strange look and like a concerned? Is the book telling you to do things right now? Are you hearing it?
She starts
Says the
nervously
Gale.
looking for the door.
The thing is, my sister kind of expects weird shit from me at this point. Like, it was less of a concerned look and more of a momentary confusion into, alright, what do you need?
I support this relationship. Your sister is an amazing sport. And then she threw some balls that wouldn't hurt you so you could pretend to be a Jedi. Absolutely fantastic. Now you can continue talking about the book, now that I have sufficiently heard the situation in which you pretended to be a Jedi this week.
So I don't know how much of a children's book this actually is.
Oh
It's fucking- At one point, C-3PO several times insinuates R2 might have gotten an STD from the Cloud City computer.
What?
He legitimately says, "Don't touch me. I don't know if you got anything from the computer. You might be diseased."
Oh my god.
R2-D2, I do not want your nasty Trojan horses. Get away from me.
I mean, look, we know R2 was into all kinds of shit. So,
I mean, R2-D2 has contracted every STD possible for both humans and droids. So,
God.
now that I know we joke all the time, like, oh, the people listening have no idea. Like, if this is their first episode, they have no idea what the hell is going on. That might be the bit that would be the most fucking confusing for anyone to understand.
This has just been a whole episode of callbacks because, again, we're like a
This
fucking...
is our throwback episode.
Yeah.
Our throwback
Remember that time?
rotation.
Yeah.
You remember that time we were happy?
I really wish I could stop the podcast exactly right there. So, Ben, you're talking about C-3PO slut-shaming R2-D2.
Yeah, that was pretty much the whole note. Like,
See, listen, 3PO's just worried he don't want to catch nothing. So he's trying to make sure that his buddy is using droid protection.
no, because he goes, R2, what did I tell you about something another with strange computer?
That's something it says in the movie, too.
Yeah, but it's like a lot more. It's the way it was
Involved in the-
phrased in this. It's just like, or no, he says the quote from the movie, and then he says, "You might catch something." Is the first thing, and the second one is, "I don't want to catch anything from you." I'm very scared for Return of the Jedi. I'm gonna be honest.
I mean, I can't figure out what Return of the Jedi will be. Because A New Hope was just this weirdly honest, from the descriptors and when I heard of it, this weirdly honest story by a fan. And I don't know what the fuck this was. But it wasn't that.
This one at the end of it actually also had some author notes by author Adam Gidwitz,
Well, Adam.
who apparently is very well known for writing fairy tales and fiction,
I have concerns.
and actually taught in I believe he taught second grade at one point. And again, that was like a very kind of honest and upfront thing, but after getting through that book, my head was whirling. But he talked about how like George Lucas referred to Star Wars in some interviews as like a modern fairy tale kind of
I mean, that's what it is.
thing, and like he said, I'm trying to play on that a little bit. And I was like, I can respect that. Like, I can get down with that. But what the fuck did I just listen to?
Why did you make the Star Wars book version of an 80s jazzercise video? Why were you given one of the 3 books to reboot the OT before a new trilogy came out by Disney, and you decided that this middle book would be fucking exercise to be a Jedi? Why did you make the fucking Star Wars Connect game out of the Empire Strikes Back novel? What?
Jedi are just walking around in like leg warmers all day.
Oh god.
Jedi doing fucking jazzercise now. Thanks for this.
Oh god, Yoda, take those things off.
I will not be photoshopping a picture of Yoda in 80s jazzercise.
It's just Yoda with a fucking leg warmer on his cane, like walking stick.
cannot lift the X-Wing. Strong enough he is not. How embarrassing. How embarrassing.
So now I'm picturing Luke rolling up to take up and Yoda still has the same youngling that just hasn't aged because this youngling's immortal.
Yoda's immortal
Cannot lift
youngling.
X-Wing, young Skywalker. How embarrassing. Young one. Why can't young Skywalker lift X-Wing? Because he thinks it's too big, Master. Truly wonderful the mind of a child is.
This has been Star Wars every week forever. Good night.
Oh, God.
It now suddenly feels very weird to look at the baby Yoda ornament on my desk.
It's just staring, judging you.
It's just, and then the baby says, and then baby Yoda's there.
No, I mean, my hope is still that they get Danny DeVito to do grown-up Baby Yoda.
No, my hope
this a
is that
new
my hope is that we get Danny DeVito to do Yoda on our podcast. Danny DeVito, get in touch with our people. We'll get in touch with yours.
What movie were we doing a script read of?
I don't. We don't
Has to
have
be
a
one that
time.
includes Yoda.
When we can get Danny DeVito.
Yeah, well.
Never we get Danny DeVito. God, we're never doing this script read.
Don't lose hope, young Padawan.
Hi everybody, it's Josh with a quick suggestion for the original trilogy and my go at it. I'll keep things pretty simple here. I want to suggest the Jedi vs. Sith comic series. The Darth Bane trilogy has been suggested on this podcast before, but what not many people know is that story was already done in broad strokes in a comic line before those books were released. And while I think the Darth Bane books are the superior product, I adore these Jedi vs. Sith comics because it's way less about Bane and it's way more about a very, very young Xana trying to survive the fallout of Ruusan. It's beautifully illustrated, and it's pretty well done. And while it doesn't follow the same structure as the Bane books, it's not that far from what they did in the Bane books. And I highly suggest it. So, there you go. Goodbye.
Hello.
If you enjoyed that episode, why not like and subscribe? Also, share it with a couple friends. Bring them into this hellscape that we've done to ourselves. You can catch brand new episodes every single Wednesday on Spotify, Pandora, YouTube, pretty much every other platform you get your podcasts on. If you'd like to extend the suffering, you can catch us over on Twitter.com at SWEWF. We post direct links to brand new episodes every week as soon as we upload them, and you can catch the occasional other dumb Star Wars take, and who wouldn't want that? Catch you guys later.